Ryan, I just wanted to ask you high levels about the Israeli bond program. In Canadian capital markets, there is good enough coverage on the senior debt side from life insurance companies, some of the banks, credit unions, pension funds, etc.
Basically, we believe that the Israeli bonds are good as an alternative to the mezz and pref equity. We believe that we can give that debt at a much lower rate than the mezz, and obviously by far lesser than the prefs. And we believe that as a tool, it's basically giving the same tool that big REIT company has to smaller players.
So Michelle, in terms of pricing, let's talk about pricing. The senior debt in Canada goes at, let's say on average, of 200-220 basis points over a 5-year bond. And that today's market, maybe that rate is about 4.25% on a 5-year coupon.
So basically there is a high correlation between the Israeli rating of the bonds to the pricing. The range for unsecured notes was between 3.5% to 7%. For the bonds, it depends again with the asset class and the track record of the issuer and obviously the rate.
In terms of the covenant and the collateral, let's talk a little bit about that. How does your structure work on somebody's portfolio that has 10, 15, 20 different assets, $300 to $400 million of value, he's got $150 million of equity. Are you looking for first mortgage charges on some assets? Are you looking for that plus some seconds, or are you looking for unsecured debt? Is it a combination of these, or is it really unsecured all the time?
Most, I would say, over 90% of the cases it will be unsecured. In some cases, when the unsecured is not strong enough, or when there are other objectives, like trapped equity that is not used by anything, so maybe we can use it to lower the interest rate, then we are being more creative. But generally speaking, if you think about the platform should be considered the platform, a very good platform for unsecured debt.
Thank you for that. And Ryan, in terms of the cost of the transaction, obviously the first time to take the product to the shelf, there's a little bit more time and it's a bit more expensive. As I understand, in subsequent raises it becomes cheaper and faster and quicker. Maybe you can give us some ranges of the costing that's involved and the time that's involved on the first transaction.
Okay, so first transaction, since an issuer decides that he wants to go and do it until the time that the money is in the bank, it would take probably 4 months, 3 to 4 months. And the cost, we like to divide the cost between the money that's being spent before the actual raise and then the cost of the raise when it happened. So the money that the process will cost as real cash out of the issuer along the way is probably $400,000 to $500,000 US. The total cost out of the proceed, including the expense that I've already described, can be somewhere between 3.5 to 4% of the money raised. Obviously, that is for the first transaction. Follow-on transactions are going to be much quicker. It's going to be 3 days to 3 weeks, and the cost will be significantly lower.
So we at R2 are excited to work with the Leader Capital team to structure these bonds and be their underwriting and advisory, real estate advisory partners. In Canada, we obviously have a lot of expertise here in the local markets, whether it's cap rates or market rents, or feedback on the local market and the covenant level discussions of the borrowers. So we at our team, we're very excited to work with you guys, and thank you for your time.